Fellas, season 2.5 of Marvel Rivals was figuratively the longest season of Marvel Rivals to date. From a terrible flying meta to dive meta at the very end there, they butchered some heroes, they made a lot of bad, boring, bland choices, and then finally they saw the light and they made season 3. They did a lot of great work, a lot of overhaul and revamping, and even though it was literally the shortest season of Marvel Rivals, I do think it was one of the best. So in today's video, we're going to cover what happened in season 3, compare that to season 2.5, and speculate what's going to happen for the future. So let's get into it. Now that we've finished up season 3 of Marvel Rivals and we can kind of get a feel for how things are going to be going forward, I want to take a moment and actually look back at what did change in the most recent season of season 3 and how that was in comparison to
body
season
block as much as I can.
Now, the first biggest change is obviously it's a month long, and it felt like the month went by way too fast because we did get Phoenix and I barely had time to even play Phoenix. The more AoE burst damage with some teleportation.
I swear to God, I'm not bad at
brought
placing
in
down
a
my shields, but I am not hitting my shields.
mechanic of being able to self-heal through her basic attacks over someone like Iron Fist who has to stop and meditate. We also got the new map, Clintar Celestial Husk. It's a good domination map, and I like the Clintar theme. I love the symbiote
someone
theme
focuses
that
on back,
is going
someone
on,
focuses front.
but I did not care for that first Clintar map, the Convoy or Convergence, whatever it is. I think it's like my least favorite map. The new one, the Clintar Celestial Husk, actually is pretty good. And we did get quite a bit with the battle pass and the cosmetics.
No idea what's going on back there.
I don't know if this is the best battle pass, but the costumes actually are pretty gorgeous. I like that there's a split theme with the symbiote and then the golden or the phoenix skins. Whereas before when we had the gala, yeah, they were all
Spider-Man
fancy,
too,
but
that's crazy.
if you didn't like the theme, the whole battle pass was kind of shot for you. There was the Twitch Hawkeye skin that was available that looks like all the other Twitch skins that are available. The event was kind of for the
Let's go and find
Milano repair logs, where you could get the symbiote.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Penny
Storm
Parker as
skin.
of, like,
The actual
the end of
skin
last
is
season.
pretty tight, but the events
I
are
think once
just
people realize
play the game basically, and
they
that's
can
it.
ban
I guess
Rocket
you could
to
call
really
it the
do a lot to
summer
her.
party
They just kind of like really
event
tapered
as
off.
well, where you had to buy most of them to get the swimsuit skins. It is a good change up. They're not as awful or as prevalent as I thought they would be. They are a bit though, but still it's just a paid event. And then there was a rank reset where you dropped 7 divisions. Not the worst thing, but they did add a
No point being
new
up close for
reward
that.
so that if you got diamond or
Their
plat,
penny is an
you get the
interesting
new
choice.
nameplate frames, which are pretty cool. And then another big thing is the accessory system, where you earn points through matches to purchase hero-specific charms and accessories. Again, not groundbreaking, but at least it gives you another reason to play the game. They added some VFX to some of the ultimates that you can also pay for.
I'm not.
The lobby backgrounds now kind of change with the hero costume. They did add a cinematics tab. Did you know that? They added a cinematics tab to watch merge serials. They also did a revamped
On the plus
summary
side,
match
the
screen.
magic really isn't that
I
great.
like it and I dislike it. I think it's cool.
On
I
the
think it's
downside,
fine. It's a lot better than what it was. I wish there was a way to either like turn it off or customize it a bit,
Interesting.
because I don't want to see that I can buy the battle pass items every single time that I play a game, because I
can't
hold
believe we
my
lived.
points to buy a whole page at once. Maybe it's a personal thing, it's whatever. And then of course there was some good buffs, balanced team ups. Like Venom was buffed, Namor, Scarlet Witch, things like that.
Interesting.
They really drastically improved the thing. I don't know what else I can really say for that, but it's
Want to
not a
body
rework,
block
but
their
they
teams if
made
they
him
couldn't do
so much
anything
more.
with that.
And then there was some minor nerfs, I guess, at this point, with like Iron Man, and there was Ultron there too. Nothing that's like worthwhile, nothing that should change up anything, but the buffs were actually pretty nice. And then they did give some new team up abilities. Of course,
no
Phoenix
idea
came.
who-
So Phoenix and
How do you feel
Wolverine,
about
that
that?
was broken for the first like week or so. And
shit.
even though they nerfed Wolverine into the ground to make it playable, it's not that much of a difference, honestly. They also did a change for the Human Torch and Spider-Man. I think the biggest thing this go around is Spider-Man is garbage. Yeah, when you played
God, I wanted
Marvel
it so
Rivals,
hard.
your team would get the bad Spider-Man, the enemy team would get the good Spider-Man. There is no good Spider-Man this go around. That's it. There's not a bit. There's no joke there. I don't know why they had it out for Spider-Man, but they hurt him, and they hurt him deeply. And so overall,
Okay.
it actually was
Let's
a
pick it
pretty
up a
good
little bit
season
better.
in my opinion, even though it went by super fast. But I think I am giving it grace because it is the start of their journey for what they want to do
I
going
need to
forward.
stay
It
somewhat
wasn't
with
really an event. You
group. I
could
do
call
that. Not group.
having to play the game to get rewards an
Oh.
event. There wasn't like a new
You can get more action in
like
that
game
game.
mode. There wasn't like actual challenges. It was play the game and you get a reward. That's just playing the game. And one thing that I did miss that I actually do think was a really big improvement is
cannot
how
hit
they
that
do
for my
the
life.
missions this go around. They have weekly, they have challenges that I kind of like dailies, even though they're not dailies. And then they have the seasonal ones where it's take damage, do damage, and heal, at least
out
for
of
right
that
now.
so bad.
I do like it better this go around because it's more tailored towards not having to play the game
Alright.
every single day, which I think is going to be very important, especially going forward. And then for some of the missions, it's not like play X hero and do this, play X hero and do that. It's just play the game, land some crits, win some matches, eliminate opponents. This one can be pretty hard. Team up with a friend and complete 2 matches.
for him.
Brother, complete 7 matches using a duelist. Maybe if you play quick play, it's easier, but I can tell you if you do ranked, you don't want to be that 4th DPS who is trying to do a mission.
I didn't really have
But that's
much
okay
where I
because
could
you don't
go.
have to do all of these missions. You just have to do most of them, and then you get the reward at the end. I do like how it's going this way because if you miss a week, you don't miss out on a week worth of points. You just have to play catch up on the missions. And then you proceed to the next week and the next week. I think they are doing it very good this way. The quality of life in season 3 is really, really good. And I am giving them some slack, some grace for season 3, only because they did make a lot of changes. Now, next season, they're not going to be adding an accessories
forget who it
tab. They're
was.
not
It
going
was
to be
like, hey,
revamping the missions tab, which is why I think
gotta have
looking at
the
season
healing, the health
3.5,
bars
you
over
can be a
everyone.
little bit more critical of them than where it is right now.
My God,
At least in my
makes a
opinion.
big difference.
So just to recap, we got a brand new duelist, Phoenix. We got the new map, the Clintar Celestial Husk. They overhauled the progression, the mission
I'm just
systems,
trying to keep
the
this
cosmetic
fantastic guy alive.
mechanics, changed up how
Those
you
3
complete the battle
people
pass and
torch alive.
things like that. They also changed up some of the team ups, and it was actually a very enjoyable season, all things considered. One of the more favorable seasons for me, especially as of late. So overall, I do think it was a pretty darn good season, especially coming out of season 2.5, where we, for most of it, was the flying meta. That wasn't very fun.
So good.
And then at the end, it went back to dive, thankfully. Never thought I would say that. But Ultron came around and he was pretty gross at first, just from how his shield was working. And then in season 2.5, I think it was like 50% of the team up abilities have been changed since the launch of season 0. But the big thing was, and I think what's most notable was they actually had an event. It was the Ultron
Loki
Battle Matrix.
still has his, which
I
would
didn't
be
really care
fun.
for the event. I think it took too
George.
long to play a match, especially if you were doing moderately well in it. They tried
Interesting.
something, and I think that's what's important. They did add the new Araco map, which I did like as well. And then they had the regular event with the Cerebros.
I know I was just
binary
praising
event.
Adam, but
Overall, I do
didn't
think
really
the
want him
season
in my team
3
at the moment.
was the right step in the right direction, especially compared to season 2 or season 2.5, because
shitting
season
me?
2.5 felt like it went on for just way too long. It's good to feel like the season does last a while if it's a good season, but season 2.5, that was a really, really bad and rough season. But
Aside
season
both
3,
of my guys
yes,
were
it literally was shorter,
flops.
but it just kind of flew by. It was a lot more enjoyable. The team
There we
ups
go.
were nice. There wasn't like any one particular character that was like, oh my god, this is so broken, we have to play them. Because Phoenix, yeah, they're good, but they're not like, oh my god, this is broken. Oh, and then they did fix Black Panther with his hit rank bug, which is why you see a lot of them now. And I think
it's my
he's
favorite thing.
a hard skill check
That's come
for
from Marvel
a lot of
Rivals
teams,
is,
which is why he gets banned quite a
Not
bit.
really the
But with that being
popularity
said,
of,
I think season 2.5
Fantastic Four, but
probably
it's
was one of the worst
clobbering
seasons
time.
that has happened in Marvel Rivals. And then season 3, while I am giving it grace,
That's
I think it
rough.
still actually was a pretty darn good season overall. Season 3.5 has just
I don't know what
started.
I'm hearing.
Blade is kind of a pain. I think he shakes up the game in a nice, fun way. And I actually am interested to see what they do next. I think this literally was like the best thing that Marvel Rivals could have done, is changing up their meta, changing up their playbook, and trying something new. And then with season 3.5, as long as they keep up the good work, I think it will be literally the best thing for the game. And so now we're in season 3.5 of Marvel Rivals, and it should be roughly about the same length as season 3. Do you think that the season length is going to cause some problems? It definitely can be a pain point, especially with how they are trying to put out cosmetics all the time. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that's a good thing that they're doing? And hey, while you're down there, hit that like button if you're still watching. Subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already. And stay tuned for the next one. YouTube thinks you like this video next. Let me know if you do.